Caitlin Clark doesn't just play basketball, she dominates it. From breaking ankles to draining logo threes like it's a warm-up, she's built a highlight reel that feels more like a mixtape of humiliations for her opponents. Whether it's dropping 40 points on a powerhouse team or casually dismissing defenders like they ain't even there, Clark's game is a ruthless blend of skill, confidence, and showmanship. Don't believe me? Let's take a look. Clark ain't just a shooter, she's a show woman. In a game against Michigan, she didn't just score, she entertained. Feeling the rhythm, Clark danced with her defender, effortlessly moving with the ball.
And still keep posting up, but you know who they go to. 22 from the outside. Oh, this is gonna happen quick.
Then, as if she was choreographed, she pulled up from the logo, launching a deep three that sent Michigan packing.
Covered by Gabby Marshall. Here comes Clark. How will she go for history? There it is! The all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball.
She ended that game with 40 points, proving that sometimes basketball is just another form of art. When transitioning from college to the WNBA, most players struggle with the adjustment, but not Clark. On her first professional scoreboard entry, she put on a superhero cape and went coast to coast.
2 shots.
45 blocks last year. Clark for 3. Clark, they said she has redefined what a good shot is. Look how far out she was.
Meeting her defender Bonner at the rim, she made it look like a warm-up drill. With a slick move, she scored her first WNBA points, leaving Bonner looking like a traffic cone.
And they defend and stop other teams from scoring.
Well, last year Indiana was 10th in pace. Christy Sides telling us Clark rattles her second 3. Again, Cheryl.
I mean, she's just so.
The arena was on its feet as Clark announced her arrival to the league in the most dominant way possible. Sophia Cunningham must have thought she could shake Clark up with a little shove. But pushing Caitlin Clark is like pressing a launch button. She only gets better.
Medalist and the Phoenix Mercury. Here's Clark back to Boston. Back inside. Oh, good ball movement. And it's Boston the finish.
As she drove to the rim, Sophia's contact was supposed to disrupt her. But instead, Clark absorbed the hit, adjusted midair, and still managed to finish the shot.
Back-to-back here tonight. This is really physically demanding.
No, it is extremely difficult. Just one, not only physically, but also mentally staying in it as Clark gets that big and one coming off that huge 3.
And of course, she got the foul shot. With a smirk, she stepped up to the free throw line and sank the extra point. Unstoppable. During another epic moment, Clark decided to give Allen a front row ticket to the Caitlin Clark shooting clinic. So Allen was supposed to be guarding her, but as Clark stepped back for a deep 3, Allen lost her balance and could only sit back and watch. The shot didn't drop, but that hardly mattered. The sheer disrespect of making her opponent drop to the ground was enough. Breaking records is one thing, but doing it in front of another record holder is another thing. Facing Sabrina Ionescu's Liberty, Clark delivered a triple-double that Sabrina herself couldn't achieve in her rookie year.
She's up there with rebounds, up there with steals. And she'll take the first 3-pointer and knock it down and treat the fans to that.
Every possession, Clark either set up a perfect assist, nailed a 3, or blew past defenders for an easy bucket.
Injury. And that's the way to push the ball in transition. Oh, that's not gonna waste much time. Caitlin Clark has her second 3-pointer. 3 and some change left to play here in the first quarter. Caitlin Clark pulls it back.
By the end of the game, the stat sheet spoke for itself. Clark was rewriting history right in front of some of the league's best. Defenders usually do everything they can to contest a shot, but in a game against South Carolina, Clark decided to test Raven Johnson's confidence. Now she backed off completely, giving her what looked like a mile of space.
And look at how far Caitlin Clark is playing off of Raven Johnson.
Daring her to shoot from 3.
You see her? She's not even looking at her. She swiped away with her hand.
Johnson dumps it into Cardoso.
Now it was an open dare. Go ahead, shoot it. Now Johnson hesitated, unsure what to do, and Clark waved her off like she was dismissing an unimportant email.
She throws it away.
A team to shoot the basketball. Watch Caitlin Clark, left side. She doesn't even look at her. Waves her hand as if to say, I don't care about you. I'm not defending you.
Now this wasn't just a defensive move, it was psychological warfare, and it worked. Angel Reese had her moment in the 2023 NCAA Finals, flashing her ring finger and taunting Clark. But karma comes next.
Most important things for Iowa in this game is to be able to secure defensive boards. LSU, an outstanding offensive rebounding team. Clark connects!
In their 2024 rematch, Clark turned the court into a personal highlight reel. With 41 points, 12 assists, and 9 threes, she dismantled LSU, contributing to 80% of Iowa's goals.
Opportunities to take shots tonight. They need her to feel confident in her mid-range. And I think Iowa is okay giving up the mid-range. Here's Clark driving in for two.
By the final whistle, LSU players looked drained and Clark walked off with a victory that tasted sweeter than any revenge. Haley Van Lith had one job, guard Clark. But after chasing her all over the court, she could only stand and watch as Clark nailed another deep three. The expression on her face said it all, pure disbelief.
Has averaged over 21 points in her collegiate career. That's third most amongst active players. Clark, backdoor, Martin, easy two.
Defenders often feel helpless against Clark, but this was different. It was as if she knew that there was nothing she could do but hope the shot missed. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Clark's basketball IQ is just as lethal as her shooting. Against Maryland, she baited her defender with a picture-perfect pump fake, sending them flying in the wrong direction.
Maryland has done enough on the offensive end to not let Iowa run away as they've been efficient. Clark connects, plus the foul.
With a clear path, she calmly reset her stance and drained a signature three. Now, it was one of those moments where everybody knew what was coming, but nobody could stop it from happening. South Carolina was 36-0, unbeatable, until they met Caitlin Clark. In the 2023 Final Four, she wasn't just playing, she was orchestrating. Scoring or assisting on 75% of Iowa's points in the first half alone, Clark single-handedly broke their streak.
It's up, it won't go, Clark pulls it down, and this building knows what that means.
Kelsey Mitchell's going, what happened? Oh, it's a triple-double for Caitlin. What a reaction by Kelsey.
With 41 points, she ensured South Carolina's only loss in 2 seasons came at her hands. The moment was so massive it felt like a championship went on its own. Clark isn't just a scorer, she's a playmaker. In a game against the Sparks, she threaded an impossible pass through the defense, setting up a perfect basket.
He's on at least 23-point attempts in a 5-game span. You know what else is on that list?
The Sparks players were frozen, probably wondering how she even saw that opening. Well, good luck with that one. Clark needed just 6 points to break the NCAA scoring record. But instead of playing it safe, she went all in. She started the game by scoring the first 8 points, making sure the record-breaking shot was nothing less than a deep three from near half court.
The mother hen, as they've called her.
Caitlin Clark hits a three-pointer, and Clark makes history once again. No one in the history of the sport has hit more threes.
No easy layups, no lucky bounces, just pure showmanship. Most players need space to shoot, but Clark doesn't need nothing. Against Ohio State, she casually pulled up from the logo, draining a ridiculous three-pointer.
Important factor this last month for Ohio State.
Clark, quick release. And hits. Caitlin Clark is all.
3 points are raining down here for Iowa early on.
Her defenders stood there in disbelief, possibly questioning every defensive drill that she'd ever practiced. Against LSU, defenders tried to crowd the paint, thinking that they had Clark trapped.
Clark wheels around, evades Van Lith, and drains it. My goodness.
Instead, she just launched another deep three like it was nothing. The further she is, the deadlier she gets. Even the refs aren't safe from Clark's dominance. After getting hit with a technical for taunting, Clark calmly stepped up to defuse the situation before sinking another three. A deadly step back against Maryland showcased Clark's signature move, effortless, humiliating, and unguardable.
Comes Clark. How will she go for history? There it is! The all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball.
Clark didn't just beat South Carolina, she torched them. Scoring or assisting on nearly every single Iowa basket, she turned an undefeated giant into just another team on her list of victims. So what you think about her games? Let us know in the comments section down below. Make sure to like the video, and we'll catch you next time.